I'm Coach Thomas Scott, and if you're listening or watching this podcast, it means one thing. You want to learn how to get buckets from the best in the world. This is the Hoopers Podcast. This is Buckets and Breakdowns. Welcome to another episode of Buckets and Breakdowns. Man, we got a special guest here. I mean, he's so cold, he might be in the North Pole right now.
Like it, man.
we talking about 4-time scoring champion, 9-time NBA All-Star, head coach of the Ghost Ballers in the Big Three, Iceman, Gervin. Thank you for your time.
My man, pleasure, man. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir, man. And you know, we're doing this show called Buckets and Breakdowns, brought to you by the good folks at Ballislife, and we couldn't talk buckets without breaking it down with one of the best to ever do it. So thank you for your time, man.
Oh, pleasure, man. I enjoy putting the ball in the hole, and so like you said, if you don't talk about somebody, putting in the hole buckets, talking to the right brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, man, when did you realize, how early was it in your life that you can get buckets?
Oh, well, I mean, I really didn't start playing till later on in my young life. Probably pretty much about I was 14, 15. And, and, I took a love to the game. And once you love something, you work at it, So I just stayed working at it, man, and being creative and shooting the ball 400, 500, 600 times a day. And, you build up that, that confidence, and what confidence, build up that self-esteem that, you can do it. And it's what I always say to guys, we all can draw some plays in the dugout, but can you make them work on the, on the field?
Right.
I believed in that, so only way you're going to prepare yourself for that, man, is to do the work. So I did the work to be able to score like I did, in my basketball career. So 14, 15, I started putting in the work. I started believing in myself when I graduated from high school, went to college. That's when I knew I could score with the best of them.
So, during those days, if you compare it to these days, you got all these trainers, including myself, that do skill development and that enhance your game and open up your horizons of your game. In your day, explain like the creativity of what you had to do to actually really perfect your craft. I don't know if you had guys rebounding for you. I know I had to still chase my own rebound, even in my days, and then help kind of getting in shape. But just what was that like to really just develop your craft during that time and your creativity?
Well, I mean, when I was younger, and like I say, man, and, in college and stuff, you always had guys around you and stuff and played with you at the IM buildings, you was on the team. So, the people on campus always wanted to play against you. So, you always had that, that person that you can compete against. And, so I always had somebody to throw me back the ball, because, I enjoy practicing and stuff. So, I'm like you, I ain't had no shooting machine. My shooting machine was making buckets and making the ball come back to me.
Right.
So I ain't get as tired because I was making a lot of buckets, but I was taking them in areas to where, I knew I could make them a lot. And that was the in-between shot. And, if you really look at my career, I shot the ball around the free throw line a lot. I could shoot it deep, but deep to me wasn't the same percentage shot as shooting it in between. I believed in accuracy. I believed in going right, shooting a jumper, going left, shooting a jumper, shooting it off the dribble, catch and shoot, going by guys, being able to lay it up with my right hand, lay it up with my left hand, throw little baby hook shots, so I I created a repertoire of shots and didn't just depend on my jump shot.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think it's something for youngsters to really get a good understanding about, man. I mean, is create different ways to score. You know what I mean? And then your imagination take over. You know, I think that was one of my strengths. You know, and then I understood what balance was. You know, when I say balance, I mean, I always taught guys, I mean, I learned from myself, I learned from my high school coach that if I'm right hand, my left foot should always be my pivot foot. And the reason why I say that, because it helps me stay on balance. You know, I mean, you know, I teach kids, if you go to the hole with your right hand, I always ask them, what leg do you kick up? And they say, your right leg, because your left leg is your balance. Okay, and the reason why I say that, because we go to the hole with your right hand and you kick your left leg up and somebody hits you, you fall off balance.
Right.
If you go in the right way, when you kick the right leg up and you hit you fall on balance. So you can brace yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So little simple things like that, you know, that I learned early on in my career. And I got that from my high school coach. You know, I mean, so balance is everything. I mean, you know, a lot of the guys today I see shoot off the wrong foot. I call it the wrong foot. You know, I mean, you know, they'll catch it and pivot off their right foot. To me, your right foot make you a step slower if you're right-handed. Think about running. If you're running, you know, when you get ready to run, you push off on your left foot. If you're right-handed,
right,
you push off on your right foot, you're a step slower.
Right.
Same concept. You know what I mean? And it's not taught. You know, I mean, you know, people don't teach that today. I mean, and you know, I see it all the time. I mean, you know, I kind of chuckle, you know, because you know, you can't teach something if you don't know it.
Right.
You know, I mean, so you know, you hearing it from somebody that made a living putting the ball in the hole.
For sure. And you know, it's funny you say that, because I do teach skill development with kids and, you know, pros and guys coming out of college, different things like that. And what I found was the reason I think and kids do it all the time too. And it's hard for me to tell them, don't do it that way, because they see their favorite players do it. But what I learned, because I was kind of the same way, is that they kind of get like a missed time from a shot blocker who's counting on that 1-2. If guys can't get above the rim and throw it down like you were able to do, sometimes it's just like that missed timing. I think for like a little guy like a Trey Young or something like that, it's just trying to get there quick. But you're right, though. You can get there, you know, faster. You have more explosiveness off of that leg. But, you know, that's the stuff I battle myself, knowing the history, knowing where we're at right now. And as I see younger kids and training younger kids, I see where it's going. Their imagination, they're taking it to a whole nother level right now. But I want to talk about where you come from, man. Detroit, right? Michigan.
Detroit. I come from Detroit, east side of Detroit.
East side Detroit, man. And, you know, I feel like Detroit is an interesting city. And, you know, you got some smooth players coming out of there back in the day, and also a tough city. And I think you kind of embody that, your swagger, your style, the way you're able to talk, your coolness, you know, break down how important Detroit was in your upbringing and how that added into your game.
Well, I mean, I know the difference between, you know, a riot and a terrorist attack. I say it like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people say it was a riot in Washington, D.C. I know what a riot is. It's about looting. A terrorist attack is about making another kind of statement. Detroit, to me, you know, was a upbringing to where if I'm able to get out of there I can be successful anywhere.
Mm,
It was a great playground to be able to play in. I mean, a lot of great ones came out of Detroit, behind me. It was
mm,
it was a lot of great ones that come before me. I didn't know a lot of them.
mm,
My era was coming up, like under like Spencer Haywood, Booker
mm.
Gervin, Ralph Simpson,
Okay.
them the guys that we look up to, Leo Tolan, Larry Miller Brooks. A lot of people don't know them names, but them was all great ball players. Curtis Jones,
Mm,
Willie James, Gary Tyson. These guys, man, that played down at the Saint Cecilia. Where a lot of people don't know what the Saint Cecilia is, man. But anybody from Detroit, anybody you talk to, former pro or pro today, they'll tell you about Saint Cecilia. Saint
mm.
Cecilia was that weekend place, man, where the whole community come and watch you play.
Okay.
From the Dave Beans to the Bob Laniers, um, Jimmy Walker, all them guys showed up at the Saint Cecilia, man. So, I had a slew of guys, man, that was before me, man, that helped me see what it took to become a pro.
Mm,
I went to Martin Luther King High School. We had a great basketball team, man, but it was another great basketball team, high school, in Detroit, Kettering High School, where Floyd Haywood played, Spencer Haywood's brother, Lindsey Harrison, Joe Johnson.
hmm.
Let's see who else played in the pros. Golly, I can't think of Cornell Norman, Eric Money.
Hmm.
And these brothers here, man, could flat out shoot it, man. And we never could beat them.
Hmm.
We played them in the championship 2 years in a row, couldn't beat them. My wife went to that school,
Okay.
so my wife got introduced to me early, in high school and stuff. And, but, Detroit for me, man, I mean, it's style. I lived in the inner city,
Hmm.
so, I saw that style. I was raised by a single parent, my mom, so my dad wasn't around, but I saw how the city was, when you talk about style, I grew up around hustlers and,
Hmm.
and the pimps and, them kind of street people. So you influence about your environment.
Hmm.
So so when I came up out of there, I brought that style with me.
Hmm.
I always dressed well. I always wore gaiters. I always wore the Borsellini. I always was sharp.
Mm.
I was a part of my upbringing, man. When I became a young pro, and it was always appreciation because the older you get and you understand what you come from, you
Right.
got a better appreciation for it, man. So I
Yes, sir.
I thoroughly, man, respect and cherish my upbringing in Detroit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I mean, it's like Deion Sanders said, you look good, you feel good, you play good, they pay good.
They
And
pay good.
and so I know you are a beneficiary of that. So I also, want to talk about, your transition from high school to college. When you make that leap, that's a part of, a lot of our basketball, all of our pros have went from really that level to another level. How did you decide where you wanted to go to school? How was your college experience?
Well, my high school, man, I wasn't very well sought after.
Really?
You no, and then my grades wasn't real good, so I could go anywhere. Me and you both would tell a young kid that's in high school, if you don't take care of your books, I don't care how great an athlete you is, you got to go where somebody else wants you to go. But if
Mm,
you take care of your books, you can go wherever you want to go.
right.
That was the difference for me. So I left high school and but I was recruited by Jerry Tarkanian. You
Oh,
know,
really? Okay.
I went to Long Beach. I went to Long Beach out of high school.
Man, okay, West Coast.
Yeah, but
My side of town.
I'm an East Coast, Midwest guy though. You know, so I never been nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I was gonna play for Jerry, man. Jerry Tarkanian out there, man, at Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So he had George Trapp at the time. Ed Ratcliffe. You know, I mean, we could have had a heck of a team. You know what I mean? But they were sophomores and I was a freshman, and back then freshmen couldn't play varsity.
Ah, wow.
And stuff. So Tark, he was setting it up to beat UCLA. That was his whole thing, to beat UCLA.
Yeah, they still play them every year.
Yeah, so he felt that with me we could beat them. But I got homesick.
Ah,
And I didn't stay.
okay.
I left after 2 weeks. I ain't never been nowhere. I mean, so for me to come out way out there to La La Land, that's what I called it. I mean, and then they had that Santa Ana winds come through.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't understand. I thought the world was coming to an end. And not being able to not experience that. So I took a midnight flight home and went back to Detroit.
Oh really?
And and then that's when I signed up with Eastern Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And Tark came back to try to talk me back in it, but I told him, man, it didn't have nothing to do with him.
Right.
I just, I wasn't used to that kind of living.
I understand.
All my boys was at Eastern Michigan. So I went and played at Eastern. We was in NAIA, so I could play right away.
Oh, okay. I spent some time NAIA myself. Xavier in
Yeah.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, we go to Kansas City for the championship.
Okay.
When we played and stuff. So I went there, man, and man, it was fun, man. We had I think my sophomore year, which I think was my last year, we had 18 in a row.
Oh, how much was you averaging in college? How many points was you averaging in college?
I probably averaged 30 and 20.
20 rebounds?
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't pass. I wouldn't pass. Man.
Yeah.
30 and 20?
I was a great college guy.
Wow.
I had a triple double. I had like my one game I had 30, like 15 and 10 block shots.
Oh, I was gonna go assist.
Right, most people do. I mean, so I had a good college career, man.
Wow.
I could play in college, man, but I got into to the playoffs and we played Roanoke, and then I got into a fight.
Oh.
And they kind of not kicked me off the team, but told me I may not be able to play the next year. So I withdrew from school and started playing semi-pro.
Semi-pro. So
Yeah.
is that when you went
Continental
to
League?
Oh, Continental League. Okay. What is that? I know about the ABA. And did that happen after the Continental League?
Oh, the Continental League was like it's like a weekend league.
Okay.
You play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Saturday and Sunday, I mean, and you had different cities that, had a Continental. It just under the ABA.
Okay.
And I averaged 38 there. Continental League. And Johnny Red Kerr saw me. You know who Johnny Red Kerr is, was the scout for the Bulls at that time, and he was a friend of Earl Foreman's, who was the owner of the Virginia Squires.
Okay.
And he had Earl take a look at me, and they flew me in, and I shot around, man. He signed me on the spot, man. That's how I became a young pro.
Oh man, how old were you when that happened?
19. So I'm on
talent.
my way. Yeah, that's where I met Doc at. Doc was my teammate there.
That's what I was about to bring up, because I read this book, Loose Balls, about ABA basketball. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't finished it all the way. I've been reading different parts at it, but I
Yeah.
stumbled on the part where you and Dr. J were teammates, man. What was that like? That's like, gosh, I don't know. Like, is that like Jordan and
Yeah.
Kobe on the same team? Like, what?
Yeah.
Break
Yeah. It
that
was good.
down.
It was good, man. For me to join the, squad and play with Doc. Doc was Mr. ABA back then. So,
Mm.
for me to be his teammate, I was more in awe, out of respect. And so, me and him used to play one-on-one all the time after
Oh my
practice,
gosh. I wish I
you
could
know.
have that on video.
Yeah, man. So, I credit him, man, with a lot of support, during my early age, man, where he kind of took me under his wing. And, I spent a lot of time with him. And, he kind of helped build up my confidence as a young pro. And I never forget him. I never thank him. Even today, you'll hear him call me Rook.
Hmm.
We had that kind of bond, man. And, we went on and played. And, what it takes to win. We had enough to win, but, we didn't because, Kentucky and Indiana, I think, was the best during that era. The
Okay.
Indiana Pacers and the Kentucky Colonels. And then Doc left and it went to the Nets.
Nets, right? Okay.
And then I, kind of took over the team and I stayed there another year or so. And then uh, San Antonio bought my contract from Virginia.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's an awesome story, man. Like you and Dr. J on the same team.
Yeah, man. It was special, man. They say I started my career with Doc and I ended it with Michael Jordan.
Now I know that point guard had to average at least 15 assists.
Oh yeah, man. Fatty Taylor was our point, man. He's probably one of the best defensive point guards, man, I ever seen in my life, man. That's the
Mhm.
one who gave me the nickname Iceman. And
Oh, that's where that came from him.
yeah, Fatty Taylor is the one, man. So we had a good little team, man. I mean, we didn't have enough pieces,
Hmm.
to win it all. Because you had to have the pieces, man. You start thinking about, teams that won it back then. You look at Indiana Pacers,
Hmm.
George McGinnis and Mel Daniels.
Mel Daniels. I met Mel before.
Oh man, they had a shooter, Don Busey. Freddie Lewis, Billy Keller that can shoot it. Rick Mount played with him for a minute. Roger Brown, I learned a lot about Roger Brown and that pivot foot also, as I became a pro and he had it down, man. People don't know about that guy, man. Roger Brown, you're talking about getting buckets. Do a little history on him.
Roger Brown.
Roger Brown, man.
Look him up.
Yeah, man. If you want to see about buckets, he used to get them, man. Smooth, man. And then, people don't talk about this other kid named man, what is his name, man? Well, I just had it on my Billy Knight.
Billy Knight? I had a
Oh,
buddy in my neighborhood, Billy Knight. He can hoop.
oh man, y'all ain't talking about getting buckets, man, until you see a guy named Billy Knight, man.
We got to
Billy,
do some history, man.
Billy Knight, man, used to get 30, easy 30. Slow. He was slow. Guys like him don't get the credit they deserve. I'll tell you another one like that is Alex English.
Oh yeah, I remember Alex English, man. He
Don't
was
get the
smooth,
credit
had
they
that length.
deserve, man. Alex got 2,000 points 7-8 years in a row.
Mm.
Man, you know how hard that is during that era where you can put your hands on guys and stuff, man, and
Yeah,
still
forearm.
Yeah, they don't give him enough credit, man. He wasn't flashy. He was just effective.
Mm.
They selling flash now.
Yep. Well, the rules allow it to, open up a little easier.
Yeah.
But you talking about buckets. I want to start talking about your buckets, man. So I'm looking at your stats, and this is just for those that don't know, the younger ones that probably tune in. Okay, we talking about his years in San Antonio. Okay, first year averaged 23 points, 53% from the field, 27 points. His following year, 53% from the field. Next year, 29 points, 54% from the field. Now we jumping up into the 30s. As you see, he's getting better and better every year, y'all. Iceman, 33 points, 52% from the field. I mean, you average 30s what a few times in your career, and you don't even really see that often now. That's amazing, Ice. And I want to give you your flowers, man, because I mean, this here is buckets and breakdowns. We haven't had a guest or anybody on here that's able to do that. You got to. Where do you remember those days? Do all the buckets just run in together?
I mean, it's shot selection. Okay, I got the green light, so everybody don't get the green light. But if you got the green light, I can shoot whenever I want to. It's kind of like Steph Curry.
Right.
He got the green light because he takes some shots. You be saying, "Oh wow," then you say, "Wow." And he got the green light. I mean, so to be able to be in a position in which I was in that position, that my coach say, "Hey man, you shoot when you want it," and the reason why you can is because you don't take bad shots.
Got you.
I ain't have to take bad shots. I can shoot when I want to.
That's a major key right there. Green light lesson.
I mean, I can shoot whenever I want to. So what I got to take a bad shot for? I ain't say I didn't take none, but I'm saying like I got that authority to say, man, I can shoot when I want to, man. And I know how to get it done.
Right.
I mean, because I shot 51% career with 26,000 points.
26,000.
Yeah. With my ABA, NBA, I shot 51%. I mean, I'm more proud of that than I am the buckets. It was accuracy. I ain't shoot, if I'm shooting 50%. So if I shoot 20 times, I'm gonna make at least 10 on most of the time. You know what I mean? And you look at the guys that score today, they shoot 35 times to get 30 points. I ain't criticizing.
No.
I'm showing the difference.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so shot selection was everything, and then I could go to the hole with both hands. I mean, I'm famous for the finger roll,
and that's what we about to talk about. Because you start going to the hole, I was gonna let you cue it up. Let's talk about that finger roll, how that come to be. I mean, what are the keys to the finger roll, man? I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the best buckets of all time. Signature moves of all time. Can you break down the finger roll for us, man?
Well, I mean, think about it, man. And I am not the inventor of the finger roll. I emulated other guys that I saw do it. I mean, if you can go back in history, Dr. J rolled it. Connie Hawkins rolled it. And Will dipped it.
He just dropped it in there.
Right. I mean, but he did like that. So I, kind of emulated them guys and developed my own way of doing it. And created another avenue of doing it. I mean, so it comes from me not being able to have to invent the wheel. I can just learn from somebody else. I remember we was in when we became the 50 graders, we was all sitting at the table. Me, Will, Connie, Doc, and Will say, "Iceman, how you gonna steal my finger roll?" And then Connie say, "Oh no, man, I'm one of his favorites. He got it from me." And then Doc say, "Oh no, y'all, he played with me." I say, "Hey guys, hold up, man. I took a piece from each one of you guys, man, and I made it famous."
You did. So, you had the mind. You marketed it. You owned it, right? And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And
I mean, it's one of the most noticeable shots in the history of basketball, man. I mean, when you say sky hook, you know who you're talking about, and when you say finger roll, You
Oh
know who
yeah.
you're talking about.
Now it's so crazy we're talking about the finger roll because I stumbled upon some video of a kid. He's now with the Brooklyn Nets, Mike James, and he was playing in Russia. This kid's point guard, and he's going through the lane, wing to the middle, and he's finger rolling it from the free throw line
Mm.
in the game. And
Mm.
not just once. I'm gonna send you the video so you can check it out. He's going through the lane, bringing the ball over to help defender, and guess what? Jumping off the wrong foot,
Look different.
finger rolling it sometimes, and then he's putting it over the glass. Other day, he's sometimes a little baby hook. I mean, Kyrie Irving to me is one of the best finishers below the rim, probably of
Yeah.
all time. And there's a lot of great guys that are finishing below the rim. But I had never seen nobody finger roll from the free throw line. So I bring that up to say, what's the deepest finger roll you think you had in your playing days?
Oh, probably the free throw line area.
Really?
Flipped it off. My son G used to roll. G used to roll with his left hand.
Mm,
I ain't never seen nobody do, what he did with the finger roll. Because he used to practice that we'd get behind the backboard and finger roll it, and he used to finger roll the left hand over the backboard. So
mm,
it's an art to it,
mm-hmm,
and it's a history to it,
mm-hmm.
and the history is pretty much mine.
Gotcha.
So how thankful am I? We still talking about it 40 years later.
Mm-hmm. You're
You
an
know,
icon.
yeah. So hey, I ain't caught up, man. I ain't caught up in my career, man. I ain't win it. And you could tell, man. Guys are defined today by how many championships they got.
Right.
They let that media sell that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got guys today, man, want to go play with another guy just to win one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Detroit. I
Mm,
think I could bust you up. I don't care who you is or who you playing with, and that's where I get my comfort.
mm.
People don't know, man. And I tell the story, man. Jerry Buss, man, tried to get me to play with Magic and them.
Hold up. Yeah, this is an exclusive. Hold on, you gotta
Yeah,
break this down. You got Kobe behind me right now, and
yeah.
rest in peace, my brother. And I grew up purple and gold, so you got to break this story down. This is an
And
exclusive,
my
y'all.
my last year, my last contract year was I signed. It was more like a 4 or 5 year.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Buss called Andrew DeRozan and stuff, man, and tried to give 3 first-round draft picks for me. And
Hmm. What year
Jerry,
was this?
what it had to be is 83. That'd be 80.
84.
No, because I retired in 86. So my last contract was like a 5 year. So it had to be like 82, something like that. Because Magic just can't win. And
Because I bring that up because I think my pops got drafted to the Lakers 83, 84. He could have
yeah,
been in
man,
that trade.
it probably would have been. So and both the guys that was talking about that deal are not here.
Okay.
Andrew Drosses or Jerry.
Okay.
So I don't know what his children know. But I know,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying, man, we got a first 3 round draft pick with George, man. And before I signed that last contract, he said, I got, the Lakers want you. And they're willing to give up 3 first-round drafts to it. Now, I'm gonna let you make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
I was close to the owner here. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, look here, man. I don't want to play with Magic. I want to beat him.
Mm.
I signed my last contract here in San Antonio.
Ah.
So, I had a chance to come out there and, the la land and play, but, that wasn't my style, man.
Man.
I wanted to bust Magic them up, man. It never happened, but it didn't never stop me from wanting to. They
Right,
were too good, man. I mean, we could compete. We just couldn't go over the hump with them, man. They was
right.
just that good, man. In that era, man. Magic brought something special to them, and then you got Kareem, Norm Nixon,
Hmm.
Coop,
Yeah,
Jamal.
yeah, they were tough. Ooh,
I mean, they was too deep.
and they still had Bob McAdoo, I think, because
They had McAdoo.
yeah, old Mac.
Yeah, man. So they.
A lot of swag on one team, man. That's a lot of cool.
Yeah, man. And look at all the Hall of Famers they got.
Right, for sure,
I mean, but I got buckets on them.
for
But
sure.
you had to still guard people at the time to
Hmm.
win back in in them days, man. To beat them guys, man. And we couldn't stop Kareem.
Come on,
I
man.
had artists, but you couldn't stop him, man. And then you had Magic pushing it up.
That's a lot of weapons.
Yeah, man. I mean, you had Norm hitting that in between jumper and dropping it off.
Hmm.
I mean, so I don't know if your dad played that much.
No, he got traded for Norm Nixon.
Oh,
And it was funny. He tells a story a little bit about it. He got traded for Norm Nixon. He's from Los Angeles, grew up down the street from the Lakers, Great Western Forum, sneaking into the to the arenas, and Jerry West put himself out there for the trade. And honestly, when he first got there, none of the guys welcomed him. Actually, Bob McAdoo was his favorite player. And Bob was the first guy to really embrace him on that squad. And
wow.
but my dad never told him that he wore number 11 his whole high school, college, and then wore number 4 because Mac was there. But yeah, man, he was there. He got traded for Norm, and Jerry West basically put himself out there for my dad and a bunch of other guys, through his tenure with the Lakers. And my dad just kind of didn't want to let Jerry West down. So then the rest is history. Um,
Yeah.
so I want to talk about the big three, man. As we share a lot of time with the big three, I look forward to seeing everybody, seeing you and helping you whatever you need out there. Coaching the Ghost Ballers. And man, the last season we had, I thought you guys were coming together, but it was just a little too late. But let's talk about the big three, how much fun you have, how much you enjoy it, and what you're looking forward to this upcoming season.
Man, if I enjoy it, man. I mean, I remember Cube calling me, man, before we got started, man, and telling me about, him, going to start a league, a 3-on-3 league, and asking me to be involved. And I told him that I would. And he made a promise that, he would take care of us. And he accomplished all that, so I got great respect for, his word, man, and developing that league, man. It's a, I mean, he loved the game of basketball. I mean, he was smart enough, to realize that it was another, it was another league that could, become by bringing the veteran guys back together. I mean, that was big to me. And 3-on-3 concept, we all grew up playing 3-on-3.
Right.
So the concept was great, man. I mean, and I truly enjoy it, man. It's funny to me because you get a lot of them guys, man. I always laugh. I say, well, a lot of these guys, man, probably played on 6, 7 teams, I mean, it was, I mean, and some of them just don't get it,
Mm.
In 3-on-3, I mean, you got to play together.
Right.
You ain't going to the all-star team after the game. I mean, or you ain't, I mean, only way you're gonna win is play together, but you got to come ready.
Right.
and I think that separate some of the guys from play on the 3-on-3, and you really fooling yourself. We didn't have some guys come in and try to be a part of our league, man, and ain't coming ready, and they get embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you got to be prepared. You got to be in shape. There ain't no running. You half court, so it's gonna be a lot of contact. Playing. When you get in contact, you're way down.
Mm-hmm.
So I love all that aspect of the game. G, which is my son, he kind of came up in that era, so he know a lot of them guys. I don't know a lot of them. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I just know you've been a pro and you should know how to play.
Right.
I ain't the kind of coach that be trying to sit up there and draw up a lot of plays. I'm saying for real. You didn't play this game. You didn't play this game 15 years and you don't know how to play. And you don't know how to play with, the guys on the floor with you. You don't know how to create situations. So I enjoy it. I'm glad it's gonna happen again, after this pandemic.
Right.
I congratulate, Cube, for continue to push it because it works, and it's good to be around the guys that I didn't play with, Rick Barry, Doc, some of the coaches and stuff, Theus and Dayton and all them guys, man. It's good to be around them, competing against them on another level. And then the girl.
You're right.
Nancy went in the hall with me in 86.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then Lisa. And then both of them won it.
Yeah.
I mean, and they play their role well. They keep, they keep thinking that, I ain't saying they ain't good coaches because both of them love to coach.
Yeah, they come prepared.
They do got some talent.
Yeah.
They got some guys that committed to winning.
Facts.
I think that's the best part of Nancy and Lisa's coaching. They know they got guys committed to winning, and they dedicate themselves to these 10 weeks to get the job done. So they come prepared, they play together, and they play off of guys and teams that just showing up.
Right.
I mean, so hopefully, my guys this year gonna come with that same type of attitude. You come to practice, we develop relationships with one another. We build a system, that we gonna stick to. Leave your
ego
at the door. I mean, and don't get caught up with them refs.
Yeah, that's true.
We got a chance to compete.
Yeah,
I got 3 good guys.
Yep.
I mean, we got a chance to get somebody that's gonna come fit in our system.
Yeah.
You need somebody big. That can deal with. You got big baby. Throwing that weight around. So you need somebody to be able to. You can't hold him.
Right.
But you make him work.
Exactly.
And you need somebody to shoot the 3 and the 4.
Yeah, I love that 4.
I mean, so and then and I got guys can do it. Mike Taylor, I think he can score with anybody out there. And my role with him is play with the guys. You can't do it by yourself. I mean, and then you got Chris. I mean, he should be a pro.
Chris Johnson was a steal in the big 3.
Man, I mean, I lost my man. Who I lose? To Nancy and them. I mean, no,
Mario Moon.
Yeah, I like Mar.
Yeah. Y'all made a trade.
He got a great personality, man, and an understanding of what we doing. That's why I admired him.
Yeah, shout out to Mario Moon.
I like Mario, man. Personality, man. I really hate giving him up, but in the game, you
had to do it.
I'm saying, Mark, look, man, you got a chance to win it. They end up winning it. I mean, but the trade was good for us.
Yeah, both teams. It was a good trade,
A good
because
trade, man. I
Chris
mean,
Johnson could show what he could do,
yeah,
and he wasn't really, behind Al Jefferson and Joe Johnson kind of
yeah,
dominating the ball. He kind of
yeah.
could show, he could roll to the basket, he could play above the
Right,
rim, he could shoot the ball, he could pass,
right. You see,
you
he
know.
free with me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm saying, hey, do your thing,
Yeah,
man, but just play with the guys. Play with the guys, man. I mean, so coaching. I mean, yeah, you gotta have some plays or something, in certain situations. I mean, yeah, I mean, but for me, it's fun. Hey, man, I'm saying, hey,
yeah, go get after it.
hey, y'all, everybody got the green light.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I ain't saying you can't shoot, but when you're taking a bad shot.
Facts, a contested one.
And if you keep taking them,
I
you're
got
gonna
there.
guard me over here. That's fair.
That's how I go. Yeah, that's a fair deal. I'll take that deal. I'll take
I'm
that
saying,
deal.
look, man, you just shot 5 of them and ain't none of them win.
Hey,
Come over here and rest with me for a while.
we talked about good shots, good
Right.
attempts. You know,
I mean, shoot. So, I mean, that's the fun part I like about the big three, man. I mean, when we do that and compete, the league win.
right. I agree.
The league win. I mean, and I'm all about the league winning. It's our league.
Yeah.
You're only gonna have one winner at the end, the ones that win the most.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, Ice. Like in the big picture, you brought it up. It's like I try to remind the guys that they pioneers, and some of those guys don't see themselves as that. They've been journeymen sometimes. That they played this place, that place, maybe a bad situation here, overseas, there. But I try to remind them, like, hey guys, you guys are pioneers. This is something that has never been done before. We got our own league, and how well you guys make this work, how hard you guys play, how much the fans receive this league. You guys are opening doors for people down the line to be able to make a living playing 3-on-3, and that's really the key, right? We creating doors that are going to be open that weren't there for us, even for yourself, man. And that's another question I'm gonna ask, because if you had the big three in your day, man, what would that have been like? How many buckets? We go to 50. How many would you have gotten out of 50?
Fun, man. I mean, enough to win. I mean, hey, I done already led the league in scoring, so I already know I could do that.
Right.
What make I give you a good name? What make Coutinho successful to me?
Mm-hmm.
He liked to shine. I mean, you could tell where he dressed.
Oh yeah. He remind me of old school guys like yourself.
But he's serious.
Mm-hmm. He's businessman. He coming in business.
He come in it right. He come in it with the right attitude.
Mm-hmm.
We need more guys like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a perfect example for me, and I love to beat him. But you got to come ready to beat him.
Yeah.
He gonna get buckets. He gonna drop it off when it's time. He gonna take the big shot when it's time. So he got that attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, to what make the league good.
See, he's coming in. Most guys are coming in to play a game on the weekend. He's coming in as if this is a business meeting. We need to get this deal done.
That's exactly what he come in at. And I love it, man, because I'm saying, like, man, y'all ain't figured that out yet. we going to win 4 games and go home after.
Oh, that ain't going to cut it.
Ain't going to get it. But if you come in there, man, like I say, man, we come in it as a unit. We got 5 guys and 2 coaches.
Right.
Let's put our head together, see what works for us.
Right.
Ain't no stars on this team. The team is the star.
Right.
You do your part. I do my part. We get things done.
Absolutely.
That's how you win.
Absolutely.
That's how you win, man. I mean, so you make me look good. I make y'all look good. We make the league look good.
Man.
Everybody winning.
That's how it's supposed to be. And I'm so
like
thankful.
You made a good point, man, when you say, you got a lot of guys that been on 6, 7 teams. They ain't figured it out yet. With my wisdom, I got to help them figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, my ability to reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ain't mad. I ain't gonna get mad. I ain't gonna argue with nobody. Come on, you think I'm gonna argue with somebody? I'm 70 years old.
There should be nothing but respect for you, Ice. You know,
I,
just go ahead and
I,
Google.
I ain't gonna never disrespect none of them.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna never disrespect none of them, man. Now I will question your basketball character.
Hmm.
I got that right. You
You a
know, I
coach.
mean, you know, because I'm coach.
You in control. For
But
sure.
I ain't gonna never attack you personally.
Mm-hmm. I don't think
I ain't
that's
gonna
a
never
fair
attack you
deal.
personally. That's hey man, you gotta look in the mirror yourself, buddy.
That's a fair deal, you know, and come prepared. You got 6 days to get right.
There you go.
And there you go. And let's see where you at. And then we
Yeah,
only
you
going to
know,
50. And so,
right,
you know, it is what it is. We trying to win, nothing personal. And if
right.
anybody got an issue with you, they could go ask their parents, their uncle, a grandfather, or whoever and say, hey man, Ice tripping. No, hold up now. This is the Iceman.
Yeah. I got
So
good guys though, man. I
yeah.
mean, I got good guys, man. I mean, my 3 guys, man, I got good relationship with, man. You know, and Rick now the captain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Bibby gone.
Mm-hmm.
So Bibby got his own team. You know, Bibby like the coach anyway. You know, he over
Mm-hmm.
there writing plays all the time, which I ain't mind because we was a unit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he don't always want to take the pen and do all. I be laughing at it.
Point guard, man, extension of the coach on the floor, man. He can't help it. And he was a coach. He coached high
Hey,
school. So, you know,
I
won
love it, man.
championships. Yeah, it's hard to
Didn't
disconnect that.
bother me at all. I kept saying, all right, but y'all got it. You know, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. You know, I mean, but his love for it. I'm glad he coaching now.
Yeah, because his you know where his intentions are. He ain't drawing up plays to lose. He's trying up to
He's
the
trying to get
best
it
chance
done,
to win for
and
sure.
I loved it for it, man. Now, and he did well for us in spots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
No
mean,
doubt.
so I'm glad he's still a part of it and gonna be a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to coach a,
Yeah.
now you got your hands full. Now let
See
me
how
see.
that go. Yeah, I get it. I get it. So Ice, I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time. I want to ask you a few questions, right? So I'm looking at some guys. I'm trying to figure out who I could compare you to, which is very hard. And 2 guys I came up with are Tracy McGrady and Kevin Durant. Now, who are you gonna take in a one-on-one game?
Well, I mean, if you mean one-on-one, if I play them or
No, if they playing each other, who gonna win that
oh
one-on-one game?
wow, that would be a good game.
For sure.
Because if you think about it, both of them jump shooters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because people always try to compare them guys to me.
Mm-hmm. I know. That's why I threw it out there.
I be saying like, well, you compare them to me because they can score and size.
Right.
Trey's a little bigger, and both of them can put it on the floor, but both of them rather pull up and shoot a jumper.
Right.
Than go to the hole and lay it off. I mean, so that would be a good game, man. I mean, it would be who take more in between shots.
Mm-hmm.
Because both of them shoot deep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and both of them what 6, 6'8", 6'10".
Yeah.
So size don't really matter. That little 2 inches.
Maybe 7 foot, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, so but being 6'8", 6'9", you can get it over 7 footer. Mm-hmm. It ain't like a 7 footer guard and a 6'2".
Right.
All you do is create space. Tracy knew how to probably create space a little different than KD.
Mm-hmm.
Because KD don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'10", 6'11". He get in the spot. I remember a couple All-Star games. I went on the floor and told him, I said, wow, big fella, you finally figured it out, huh? And I said, you shooting that in between jumper now. He said, man, there ain't nobody never there. I said, because it's in between.
I love that. I love that.
That's where I made my living at.
Look up the numbers.
That's where you shoot. He shoot good percentage.
Mm-hmm.
KD.
Yep.
You
For
know,
sure.
he shoot good percentage. You know, I mean, because he figured it out, and now he didn't had an injury
Mm-hmm.
that could be career ending. But the way he played now, and he figured it out before the injury, he could stay in the league now.
Mid-range. Yep.
He stay in there.
Yep.
You
And
know, I
that's
mean, and you know how they got it designed now. He ain't got to play the whole season.
yep. They
You
got
know,
enough firepower. They got more than enough
oh,
firepower over there.
oh. And then I tell you, man, I really got a different appreciation for Harden.
Oh yeah. He's tough, man. He's a basketball genius.
Man, I
He's a
tell
cheat
you,
code.
man, I got a lot, man. I tell you, man, he changed his game to fit that system.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they're gonna win at.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kyrie got a different respect for him now, because Kyrie had to figure it out first.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie on board now.
Yeah, and he moved to the 2 and let him take you. You be the decision maker.
Because I could still score off the dribble.
Yeah, you got it.
And
That's
if they
a lot of
double team
maturity.
me, I don't mind getting it back to you because you don't mind getting it back to me.
That's a lot of maturity. It's a respect thing. I respect
cool.
your IQ. You know I like the ball. I know that you can take it over if you need to, and it works.
Your boys in La La Land gonna have their hands full.
I love every bit of it. You know, I just want to see the best against the best. You know,
Well, that's how it should be.
You know, I can't lie to you. I want to fast forward to the championship. But last question I'm gonna ask is this: Big 3. Who's your big 3 on your team? If you were to jump in or in the big 3 as a player, who would you add as your 2 co-captains?
Oh wow! I mean, who would I have to choose from?
Whoever you want. Whoever you want. Your day, today, anybody.
Oh man, I'll choose Doc and Moses. Because I know Moses gonna get everything.
If there ever was a miss.
Right. Hey, and Doc gonna go by everybody, and I'll just be standing out there at the mid-range.
I love it. I love it, man. Iceman, George Gervin. Hey, thank you so much.
Hey, pleasure,
I appreciate you so much for your time. This is another episode of Buckets and Breakdowns. Your host, Thomas Scott, from the good folks of Ball is Life. We saying peace and stay cool.
Oh, my man. All right, man. All right, Tom.
Thank you, man. Talk to you soon. All right.
Pleasure. All right.